Good morning, everybody. This is Grant, and it is a beautiful Friday. Are you excited for today? It's gorgeous out, at least here in Florida, and I've got my warm cup of gratitude, and we got a good show for you. I'm super excited to talk about today a variety of things. For those who have been like knocking on my door, texting me, Rob Boudreau, you know who you are, and a bundle of other people is what is going on with the stock market. I have a condensed explanation of what is going on and what my posture is going to be. Not trading advice, but how me and Marissa are kind of paying attention and watching for things and what our paradigm is. But we got to talk about the wolf moon. What the crap is the wolf moon and what's going on with that? So we're going to cover these things. But I am super excited to begin to crack open the answer to the question that Lori Holland asked yesterday, and that is, how do you find a mission? And I appreciate this question. We've got to answer this because we want to open up how you can feel purpose and find purpose, even in the mundane. And how do we do that? And so we were talking a little bit yesterday on how to get mission wrong. And today I actually want to take a step. We won't answer the entire question that Lori had yesterday yet, because as I was cracking it open, I realized there's some preliminary steps I feel people have to do to prep their heart and mind to be ready to actually even think about what their mission and what their purpose is, this apex feeling that we're scratching at. We'll get there. So we're going to cover that. We're going to cover other the news. But before any of that, we're going to be talking about what's going on and what you're grateful for. So let's join me, please, in this morning cup of gratitude. Tell me what you're grateful for in the comments, and I'm going to tell you what I am grateful for. This morning, in my morning warm cup of gratitude. Good morning, Katie. I hope you're doing great. Good to see you yesterday. It's the lovely Katie Yates. We saw each other at the coffee shop briefly as she was just stopping by. I'll tell you what I'm grateful for this morning. I'm massively grateful for this morning, spending the evening with our team. Amber, Marissa, Kiana, Jenna, and her husband, Ryan. We all came out. We had drinks at Revival, and we played Cards Against Humanity, and it was hilarious, and we had such a great time. And so I'm grateful to send off. Someone who's been with us as long as Jenna has been with us, someone who's been with us for 4 years now, and watch her go out into the world and make something of herself. I'm grateful that we got that time together, that we got to hang out, and that we got to just celebrate the fact that we're all good friends. So I deeply am grateful for this time yesterday, and I'm excited about the new world we're in today. So that is what I'm grateful for. What are you grateful for this morning? Katie, or whoever's out there this morning watching, what are you grateful for? Start this day with a sense of gratitude, and I guarantee it will improve the quality of your day. Let's talk about the news. Here we go. So last night was the first of 12 full moons this year, known as the wolf moon. It was full last night. You might even be able to catch a glimpse of it this morning. Now, the closest name, a lot of people think that the wolf moon, and there's kind of like a rumor going around that it's called the wolf moon because there was a bunch of pioneers out and the full moon was out this time of year, and suddenly they heard wolves howling at each other. And it's a very loose myth on where the name comes from. But if you research the history a little bit, and I've got a link for you here, Lisa says she's grateful for feeling rested this morning. Oh, man, it can be awesome to feel rested. I mean, truly rested. And we're actually going to touch a little bit on something I think is missing from a lot of people's lives in prep for mission. The mission, capital M, not missions, though that is included, but the more macro concept of being in a life of mission. I think rest, having a rested brain, and we're going to talk about that in the lesson today. But the wolf moon actually comes from the closest name is actually a Sioux. That is the native or indigenous people group, the Sioux, their name, the closest is that wolves run together moon. And they believe that this comes from the shamans or the tribal elders would come up with stories to explain the moon at certain times of year. And when we called it, or when the Sioux were calling it, the wolf moon, there was an entire story behind that for the Sioux, and they would summarize it, known as the wolves run together moon. And there was a moral to that story. There was a seasonality to why this particular January full moon referenced that. A similar Muskogee name is that it's the winter's younger brother moon. And that is another indigenous people group. They have their own story, their own tradition about the January moon, and it is the winter's younger brother moon. If you want to read more about that and get a few links here, let me give that to you. Here we go. Boom. You can always look that up. And Marissa got me thinking about indigenous people groups. Marissa got me thinking about indigenous stories. And so that's your earful on the full moon. You know what else is in a crazy full moon? Now, before I jump there, Jessica Ojeda, who we haven't seen in a little while, she says, I'm grateful for the wisdom from the elders. My uncle reminded me yesterday as I was feeling exasperated, don't complain because there's always people doing worse than you, like the ones that are dead, sister. Whoa, I might need like a glass of wine before they came in hot like that. But it's true. Don't complain because there's always people doing worse than you, like the ones that are dead. You know what? I'm also grateful for the wisdom of your elders, Jessica. That's heavy. That's going to weigh on me a little bit this morning. If you guys catch me at Catapult or at Black and Brew this morning in the coffee shop and you see me doing this, I'm going to be thinking, Brian Gardner says, that took a turn. That took a turn. That's right. That's your heavy Friday. But it's true, though. And I'm sure that he didn't say it from a heavy heart. I'm sure he said it from a revelational space of, hey, listen, guys, you don't complain, man, because other people have it worse than you. And we're reminded of this, and we shouldn't relish in other people's comparative suffering, but we should check ourselves to humble our hearts that, listen, whatever you and I are going through, if today, and as we discuss things today, if today the worst thing we're facing is whether or not to jump into the GameStop stock frenzy, if that's our toughest decision today, and we're feeling scattered with our work and all the things we have to do because we feel like we're missing out, we're doing okay because people be dead, according to Jessica's uncle. I love it. I love you guys as a community, man. You guys tickle me, man. It's fantastic. So yes, if you drive by the coffee shop and Grant's having an introspective moment, I'm thinking about Jessica's uncle. All right. So what else is going through a full moon? That's right. Stinking the stock market. We're going to talk very briefly, a very hyphenated explanation of what's going on and what me and Marissa's posture is on it. So listen, last year, a lot of people don't know this about the stocks today. The stocks today and what is going on today was started actually last year. It's similar to, I don't know if you remember Occupy Wall Street. Occupy Wall Street preceded the collapse in 2008, 9. I don't know if you know this. It wasn't the cause, none of that, but it preceded it. And there was some social rumblings. So the Chewy founder, yes, the Chewy of the dog food product, invested millions into GameStop about a year ago or over a year ago and really hyped it up. For some reason, the hedge funds got a burr in their saddle about that, and they started betting against the stock. And so for those who don't know what a short is, and please go watch the movie The Big Short, fantastic movie that explains what happened in 2008 and why they made so much good money. In that moment, the little guy made millions going short. In this case, the hedge funds had gone short. What is a short? If a stock is at $10, you can go to that stock and say, hey, listen, I want to purchase the right to sell stock to you at $10. And they're like, okay, you can purchase the right. So you spend a little bit of money. Let's say you spend $2. You spend $2 and you get a permission slip. And the permission slip says, hey, you can sell stock to me at $10. I don't care. So if the stock goes to $20, that's no value. You lost your $2. The paper, that promissory notice is not worth anything. Why? Because if the stock is at $20, you're not going to sell it at 10, then you take a $10 loss. But what if the stock tanked? If you bought this permission slip, you spent $2, you told the stock, hey, listen, you gave me a permission slip. It was a promise that I could sell you this stock at $10. Well, if the stock tanks to $5, I'm going to go buy that stock at $5 and then wave my permission slip at that stock and say, hey, listen, I know your stock's at $5, but you promised that I'm allowed to exercise this option to sell it to you at 10. Boom, you could double your money that way. When does this come into play? When people lose money on a stock, they want to bail out. Well, if it's gone to $5 or it's gone to $4, God, if I could only, I wish I could actually go back in time and sell this back at $10. Now, what you spent $2 for, you purchased it for $2. You spent $2 for, that person who's losing their shirt in stocks, they'd be willing to spend $4 or $6 for that permission slip just to sell all of their stock back at $10. A short is betting that a stock will fail. I don't know if you know that, but now you know that. So I hope that makes sense, that purchasing a short is betting that the stock will fail. And then there's the opposite of this that most people do think of. It's called a put, or I'm sorry, a call option. And it's when you bet that the stock is going to go up. And it's the right to, hey, I promised to purchase this. Would you promise to sell it to me? I'll purchase this at $10. And they're like, okay. It runs up to 20. You go say, hey, you promised that I could purchase this from you at $10. You spend your money. So you spent $10 plus your 2, you spent $12, but now you can sell it at 20 and make a spread. That's how options work. And that was my truncated version. And what happened was, when the Chewy founder started putting money into GameStop, they had a beef. It was literally like a celebrity beef with a hedge fund. And the hedge fund said, man, we're going to take this guy for a ride. We're going to put out a ton of bad press, and we're going to drive the GameStop stock down, and it doesn't have any good fundamentals. FYI, GameStop needs to go online because they don't have great fundamentals as a company. And that, I mean fundamentals, if you look at their stock details, if you look at their income, their P/E ratio, their debt ratio, they don't have great fundamentals. But they've been improving their fundamentals over the last year, as any good company does. So then these hedge funds said, forget it. They purchased a bunch of shorts. They bet that the company would go down. And then they sent their people into the news to talk, hey, they've got poor fundamentals. The stock's going to tank. Well, guess what? Nerd alert. The gamer culture is like the Occupy movement. They are done being tramped down by the man. They don't have good college prospects. They don't have good job prospects. They're a suppressed people group right now. Not just gamers, but nerd culture. Nerd culture. So then what happened is this Redditor on Wall Street, known as Wall Street Bets, posted that he had a list of the hedge funds' negative short bets. And if we wanted to stick it to the man, all we had to do was pump the stock. And this is what's often known as a pump and dump. Well, Wall Street Bets, I assume, actually purchased a bunch of these stocks, then pumped them. And now these people have rallied these stocks 500%. GameStop is up near $400. AMC, and I've got a bunch of them. Naked Brands, BlackBerry. BlackBerry has no fundamentals, but it's still being traded as a stock. It's barely holding on, but it's rallied, and it's made Wall Street Bets a crap ton of money, and the early adopters a crap ton of money. This happened so hard that one of the hedge funds had to close. Now, this is big. This is like 2008 big. One of the hedge funds had to close over a 24-hour period because they were in so deep with their short. They were saying GameStop was going to go way down here, and then GameStop started here and is way up here, and now the hedge fund has to shell out the entire spread, all that money. So they declared bankruptcy in a 24-hour period. This rallied the troops of these small little guy investors, and the rallying cry is the little guy. It's literally the same mob mentality that happened around QAnon. The little guy. And it's just rallying. And this has fortunately made people a ton, especially a lot of little people, money. Who did it make the most money for? So far, the Redditor, Wall Street Bets, and the early adopters, but also a ton of other good people. Is it a good or bad thing? Grant, I want your opinion. And some people have said, is this a good or bad thing? I love watching the little guy win. I love it. I don't like the fact that these stocks are going to collapse on themselves as these people start taking their money. I don't like that. I also don't like that we don't know necessarily who Wall Street Bets is. What if it's its own pump and dump scheme? Are people legit making money? Yes, people are legit making money. But here's the catch-22. If enough hedge funds collapse, the entire market collapses. And if these people hold on, it's very much like the Bitcoin and Ethereum rally back in 2017. Now, I'm still holding Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I'm making good money, and I made money back then because I was early. But anyone who gets in now, they're going to get in late. So here's kind of my position on this, and this is not trading advice, but this is where me and Marissa are at. And why am I even talking about this? Why is this even news? It's news because the average person, my waiter, the average person, porn stars on Twitter, the average person, I had a millionaire mentor that said, when your golf caddy is talking about real estate, it's time to get out. He was a real estate investor. When your server is talking about GameStop, it's time to get out. Take your money if you can. I mean, this is going so crazy now that these companies are actually preventing people from trading it, which is unheard of, by the way. So they basically, and the rallying cry of the little guy is that hedge funds can move millions of dollars and move markets. We haven't moved more than them. It's just millions of us rallying and bonding together and driving it up for our own benefit, which should be legal in my opinion. That should absolutely be legal. But for these particular stocks, we're late for several reasons. And here's me and Marissa's position on this. And our position might change, but here's where we're at. If you are watching the news, if you're watching TikTok, if you're watching Redditors, and you're trying to go like, oh, dang, can I make an extra grand? Can I make an extra 10 grand? Could I make my millions? Is this my silver bullet moment? Is this my Bitcoin moment? Boom. Brian Gardner, I appreciate this. Brian Gardner says, this is a fantastic analysis that covers all the issues. I wish everyone was talking about this, heard this. Thanks, Grant. Brian, A, that means a lot. I really, really appreciate that. B, it would help if you shared it. Share it somewhere in one of your groups and continue to get it going. Ron Thompson says, boom. Ron Thompson says, Robinhood is getting hammered for halting the trading. Absolutely. So what I was saying right there, Ron, was that Robinhood and others now, like E-Trade, have frozen the trading because of crazy market volatility. Hey, listen. It's super fun to watch, but people don't realize this. I was analyzing Robinhood this morning. So now the little guy is saying Robinhood is a tool of the man and the controlling elite. We thought Robinhood app, which was doing a lot of these fee-free tradings, the Robinhood app, they were doing this great, and then they froze the trading. Does anyone know what happened with this? I was researching this morning. What happened is Robinhood pays the trading fees to its intermediary. And when Wall Street Bets was driving all this trading, the volume, the in and out trades went through the roof. And now Robinhood does not have enough cash to cover the trades. They actually had to go back to their investors last night. They had to go back to their investors, their private investors, and borrow $1 billion to pay on their $1 billion line of credit. Not because they're trying to stifle the trading, but because they cover the trading fees and they don't have the cash to pay for it now. So a lot of people are giving Robinhood crap for being a tool of the elite, a tool of the hedge funds. The truth is they're going, guys, we cannot handle this volume of trading. And because Robinhood's pitch is fee-free trading, you can go in and out without paying any trading fees. Thanks for the share, Brian. I really appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. Because Robinhood covers those fees, suddenly they have to make up that promise and they're screwed. Now, Ron Thompson says, I moved to TD Ameritrade a few months ago. Marissa says, but they only stop buying. They only stop buying, not selling. And this is Marissa's point, and your comments are coming in fast. They only stop the buying, not the selling. That's true. So people weren't stuck in a trade. That's absolutely true. Ron jumped in and said, I moved to TD Ameritrade a few months ago. If anyone is using Robinhood, make the jump. They have zero fee trading like TD. That's fantastic. And if all that business moves to TD Ameritrade is sitting on more cash. So they probably won't have to stifle any of the trades. Now let's back up. Where's me and Marissa's position on this? Hold on. Sheena said, I use Robinhood when I was trying to learn about stocks. And I love Robinhood. I have some crypto in Robinhood. I have small holdings in Robinhood. Most of my trading has happened in E-Trade. But let me tell you where we're at right now. What's our position on it? Number one, it's awesome to see. It's wild. And if you believe you have an insider's view, if you are Wall Street bets and you can get ahead of these rallies, great. If you really believe that the rally will drive these stocks so much higher, GameStop now is over 400. How many stocks can you purchase for that? Let's say you got $1,200. You can purchase, I don't know, 3 of them. How far does that have to go for you to hit your home run? Now, that's the average person. A lot of these people with the success stories got in when GameStop was down around $9 and $10. Of course they're going to. This is exactly what happened in Bitcoin. So can you make money? Sure. You need to stick to some fundamentals. So here's me and Marissa, and you're going to think we are literally fuddy-duddies on this. Our position is this: never violate principles. What are some principles? Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. That's our core principle. And right now, none of the stocks listed, GameStop, Naked, BlackBerry, Bed Bath & Beyond, AMC, none of the stocks listed are at their low. They have blown through their 52-week high and have set a new 52-week high. Now, do I believe that these will rally? Absolutely. I believe never underestimate the sheer will of a bonded people to storm the Capitol. I mean, that's insanity, and I do not back that, and I emphatically stand against that. However, I'm impressed at when a group of people who feel stifled rally, what they can do. So do I think these stocks will rally? Absolutely. Does it Lisa Welsh says, yes, buy low, sell high. Does it violate principles? Absolutely. It violates the fundamentals. When I read the fundamentals, when me and Marissa purchase stocks, we have a certain set of rules. And those rules are in place for a reason so that we don't get sucked into mania, right? Now, we don't mind making a bump. So how do we make money on this? Well, let's back up. First off, because the price is now high, not low, I'm not going to purchase any of them. The price will eventually come back to the fundamentals, and the last person holding the bag will lose. You can make a ton of money, sure, but can you guarantee you're not the last person holding the bag? Me and Marissa can't guarantee that, and we've got other investment goals like real estate and crypto and our own business. So can we go in there like Robinhood and pull out some money? Yes, if you can get in there early. Yes, if you think it's going to rally. A lot of people in the community are saying that the options cancel tonight and Monday there's going to be a huge rally. If there's a rally Monday, it's only because people said it was going to be a rally and there's going to be a buying frenzy. Why? Because the block of options that cancel tonight on all of these is small compared to the overall short positions these companies were in. So you guys are buying into the fervor, and that's the only thing propping this up is the fervor. So how long can you hold it? And are you going to be the last one holding the bag? We saw this with crypto. We saw this in 2008. So our position is if we can't predict what is low or what is high, me and Marissa aren't going to get into these particular stocks. The price will eventually come back to the fundamentals, and it's causing other volatility in the markets. So me and Marissa are looking at secondary markets. What other stocks are having cash pulled out of them so that their price is artificially low? So we're contrarians by nature. What everyone's looking at, we're paying attention to, but we're going to go to the opposite. So I bought a little bit of Bitcoin and a little bit of Ethereum, and overnight, go look at what Bitcoin and Ethereum is over the last 48 hours. And guess where our money went? Suckers. Go where money's pulling away from, especially if it has fundamentals, and then stick to your principles. Buy low, sell high. So we're watching for a pullback. I'll watch for a pullback with these stocks, but there's no way I'm going to get in until they pull back, and they don't have the fundamentals, so I won't get into them. But here's the other play that I'm personally watching for. So how all this started was that the hedge funds had a short position, and the small guy came in and rallied it to 400. Do you know what a stock option put on GameStop and AMC is going to be looking like? the options on it declining. It's inevitable that the price will fall and someone's going to get left holding the bag because there's no fundamentals. And all these people are eventually going to suck their money out. And then these stocks will absolutely collapse. And on the ride down, someone's going to go, oh my God, I need to hedge this. If only I had a stock option to sell this more than I'm losing right now. I believe the next play on all of these stocks is going to be the short options. In fact, if anything, go look at the little guy, Wall Street Bets himself, and other people who's holding what stock options for the put. Watch for it. The calls are getting more and more expensive, and they're not going further out. The puts, basically betting that the stock will tank, is what I'm watching for next personally. Will I jump? 50-50. I'm risk averse, man. I want my money to go into real estate. But if I think that there's still a major play for these stocks, it's for when they're going to tank, which is inevitable. Eventually, they're all going to tank. So listen, I spent way too much time talking about these stocks. It was a full moon last night. It's a full moon on these stocks, and it's already 7:08. So I promised you guys to talk a little bit about Mission. And I tell you what, I'm going to put that on hold, because the spirit of everyone paying attention at 10 after 7 is hyped about this market. I think I want the lesson to stick. That personally, I think if you get in now on these stocks, you might make a little bit of money, but you've missed your home run moment. Personally, that is just my view, Grant. I've missed my home run moment unless I can get in on the put options when these things collapse. How long will it go, Grant? No one knows this. I'm not going to speculate. Are there going to be other plays? I am certain Wall Street Bets right now, the Redditor Wall Street Bets, I am certain he or she or their team is looking for other pump stocks. So am I following them on Twitter? Absolutely. Am I following the Reddit? Of course I am. But are you, with your job and your kids and your family, are you going to be paying attention to catch it when he says? Are you going to be able to move fast enough, like Ron was saying, to TD Ameritrade and jump into that stock and trade it and catch that before the volume sweeps it away? This is altcoins 2.0 and shitcoins 2.0. If you can move, but I watched people spend days and weeks trying to move quick enough and move their money fast enough, and they would tie it up in BlackBerry. Why would you put your money in BlackBerry? They tie their money up in BlackBerry, and then they've moved their money over to Naked Brands. And I even saw they're trying to pump this morning 2 other stocks. I'll look it up. Oh, WB. They were trying to pump stocks into WB. And it was like, okay, well, if your nest egg is over here waiting for one to rally, you're going to frenetically try to sell it at a loss and move it over to WB. And now you're just part of the pump machine. I got a weekend to enjoy. I don't know about you. Calm yourself down. Stick to your core principles. If you can catch a ride and you have the time, Ron has the time. Ron's in here trading. He's got the time. Most of you guys don't have the time. Did you miss your window? Yes. Were there millionaires? Sorry to tell you this. There were Bitcoin millionaires. Yep. Yes, there's Wall Street Bets millionaires, and there will be more. But I cannot afford the bandwidth myself to chase these things, and I hope you don't either. Listen, I'm sorry we got sucked into this, but you guys started talking to me about it in the comments, and I wanted to make sure we answered at least our position on it. And I hope, to Brian's point, you guys have a little bit of even keel view. Do I think any of this is bad? No way. I just think more people are going to lose than win. And I don't like that I don't like that proposition. Is it fun? Sure. Go have fun with it, guys. Go for it. I'm going to have fun investing in corners of the investing markets, like some of the cryptos. They're too high now. Don't jump into the cryptos now. They're too high. You got to watch the swings, and now they're at a high. I'm going to sell, and I'm going to buy on the dip. And get it. That's called swing trading. A lot of you guys are doing day trading or gambling. I myself try to do swing trading. I try to catch the swings, buy on the dip, buy low, sell high, and catch your 10%, catch your 15%, catch your 10%, catch your 15%, and you'll do fine. That's my 2 cents. We're going to talk about Mission. I'm going to do a special edition maybe later today or tomorrow and circle back with my promise to talk to you about making room for Mission. And this is actually a great case in point. I think many of you, I'll make this point and then I'll let you guys go about Mission. Lori hopped on yesterday and asked, Grant, how do you find a mission? We were talking about ways to screw up your mission, ways to fail at living a life of mission and following mission. We talked about that. Go back to yesterday's show and watch that. I present for your consideration, when it comes to mission, this stock thing is an exact example of why you don't know your mission. We don't have the room in our lives to do the inside out work, which is what Stephen Covey talked about. Character is built from the inside out. Wisdom is built from the inside out. Knowledge is built from the outside in. Responding to the market as a good business owner should is responding from the outside in. Brian is a writer. I am a writer. We're often responding from the outside in, but as a writer, I make it my mission to change it. I pull it in, I synthesize it, I check with my spirit, I check with my wisdom, and then I write a book from the inside out. Character is built from the inside out. And to Lori's question, mission is discovered from the inside out. If you spend the next 48 hours watching the GameStop stock, you're not taking the quiet time necessary to listen to your inner spirit. Am I against it? No, not at all. If you need to create a home run, go for it. Have fun. Sincerely do that. But I, for myself and other Spark citizens, come on. We don't get sucked into fads. We are here for the long game, the game that lasts long after our life, the legacy game. We're building a legacy. Yes, if you made $1 million in one of these stock market rallies, I could leave a legacy, maybe, but you've built the habit of exacerbating your rabbit brain, exacerbating your ADD attention span, trying to catch a silver bullet. And I encourage you, don't build a character of being a person looking for a silver bullet. And as it comes to mission, you are building a distracted life. The thing I was going to talk about today, and the thing I'll rehash either this afternoon or tomorrow, is how to make room for mission. You've got to make room in your life for mission, which means you need to take a hard pass at the fads. And you need to stick to the fundamentals, because you've got to change the flow from outside in to inside out. I'll cover that in the very next show. To actually make good on my promise to cover making space for mission. And then I hope to answer directly Lori's question on how you find your mission. And here's a hint. Very few of you will find your mission in the Robinhood app and the GameStop theory. You'll find it elsewhere. Listen, I love you guys. We'll talk about that in the next episode, I promise. Have a great day. And remember the mission, not day trading. The mission is igniting lives of explosive significance, starting